without you guys, I wouldn't be here. Quite, as simple as that. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to be here producing this content, just casting for you guys every day, and just putting on matchup after matchup after matchup. We're running our own tournaments as well. Every single subscriber helps us to run more of those as well. So do consider subscribing to support, or you can donate or cheer if you'd rather do that than subscribing. Anyways, for now we are in-game. So it's enough of selling out, and it's more introducing players, as we have to the bottom right hand side, besting Bunny in the TvT. Our blue Terran is Ryung. Going up against the red Protoss player in the top left side. Let's hear it for Zest in this series. Zest Ryung is awesome, says Monkle Floyd's in the chat. But I want to lurk, says Grey Ring. Well, okay, you can lurk if you want. I'm just trying to kind of get the chat to say something. It's so quiet out here today. What's up to Benef as well? He does say hello. Hello, Devil's Fire. Matu as well in the chat. Loving it. Awesome brackets, Wardy. Nice tournament, says Zaga Zeno. And this tournament is put on by the Chinese Casters SC boys, so you can shout out those guys for putting on this event. I'm just here to bring you guys English coverage every week, or at least the weeks where I'm not traveling. It's been kind of unlucky, honestly. I've been very... since the Kung Fu Cup started, I feel like I've been traveling loads, and I did miss a couple. However, every single one that we've missed, we have casted from replays a few days later at the very, at the very most. So it's still been very, very exciting, I would say. And even if we have a replay cast, a lot of people have been tuning in and enjoying. So that's always great to see as well. As we get ourselves set up here, game one of this best of 3, and we do see the factory on the way down already from Ryung. So he's setting up in towards that factory. A second gas in the main base of Ryung as well. We're just going to see Cybercore finishing up Nexus on its way down. This TVP early is really nothing too spectacular in terms of builds. It's really just the standard go-to. Double gas means we will see a starport, no real surprise on that one. And there is the tech choice from Zest. And I feel as though it's always the tech choice from the Protoss player, which does originally kind of bring around the questions of, well, what's going on here? What are the game, what is the game plan? What do we do right now? How are we going to commit to this? So, robotics facility comes into play. It's on its way up, about halfway done. Now, what does this open the options for from Zest? Well, it allows them to be very safe against pretty much anything. And you get an Immortal out and you're very safe against the Cyclones. Observer will help against the Widow Mines a little bit, sometimes help them take them down before they get burrowed properly, or even when they just finish burrowing. And it also gives you the Warp Prism to potentially do a little bit of something with as well as the game goes by. So we'll see what happens here. Zest, his robot facility, is about to finish up. And we do see the Stalker is just moving on forwards. From Ryung, he went to Widowmine initially and now is going to be going in towards the Cyclone here. As you do see the Stalker at the front, is just having a little bit of a poke around. And I guess going to be seeing the few Marines dancing back and forth. No Reaper in this game from Ryung, by the way, and I do apologise, I was harping on about something else without noticing that he skipped the Reapers. That is a little bit intriguing. Means he's actually got a few more Marines than usual, and so when he gets this medevac out, he will have 8 Marines that he could load up into it, or he could load up the Cyclone and 4 Marines, which means that he could actually leave 4 Marines at home, which is also a very good possibility as well, and can also be very effective. Or he leaves the Cyclone at home, and I think the Cyclone at home might actually be the way he tries to go for this. Is right, lifts these up. Now 3 of these are already low. Those early Stalkers poking across did get something achieved. That was some good damage, and it just pokes a few of those Marines low so that when they do arrive on this top left side of the map, they're not going to be immediately super effective or anything along those lines. So boosting away here in towards the upper left, Observer will see that medevac coming on through, and in a moment we'll begin to unload into this main base. Stalkers are coming forwards, and they're going to start targeting down the medevac, and that's going to be a kill here. Ryung loses a full medevac of Marines, and he's just a little bit like question mark, and Zest is like, rip. I had an Observer, buddy. I literally saw you flying towards me. So Ryung doesn't really have a great moment right there, as Blink and +1 start up on the Forge of the Twilight Council, which have just been put down in the last few moments. Ryung will bring a Cyclone around the right side, but already losing 8 Marines and medevac and doing absolutely nothing with it. That's painful, because actually what does Ryung even have at home right now? Starts a bunker, and rightly so. He has no units here at all, and this War Prism with just a few Adepts, this could cause chaos, because I actually don't see what he does to defend this. I mean, if the Cyclone was here, at least there's something which will eventually clean the Adepts up, but in this current scenario, I don't really see a way in which these adepts get cleaned up at all. The Marine count's just not there. Ryung, he very well knows it. GG, Zest takes game number 1. All it takes is to pick off that medevac, and there's just no... Well, we don't really get to cast Redshift very often, because very smartly so, a lot of players do just veto it pretty much as soon as they get the chance. So, getting into it this time around, we have to the upper left-hand side the blue Terran player. This is Ryung. Going up against the red Protoss bottom left, it's Zest. What's up, Wurzag in the chat? I see a Wardy with some SC2, he says. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Thanks for the Wardy golds. Hope you're doing well today. And yes, we're here with SC2 every day until Home Story Cup, apart from on Saturdays, due to WCS and another event. Getting this set up, guys, getting this rolling. So my phone just decided to crash. I was just trying to check something quick on Wikipedia, and my phone's like, you know what? I want to die, so let me just try and redeem my phone. I don't know what happened. It wasn't even out of battery. Feels bad, man. Well, SCV takes the watchtower, and that's all he does. Just sits on the watchtower. How interesting. It's kind of strange. Sit on the watchtower here. Doesn't go to scout or anything. Just literally sits right there. Meanwhile, we do see a Nexus on the way down on the natural, and over towards the main base we do see a Cybernetics core being dropped behind this mineral line as well. So the Cybernetics core will help to wall off this area. The simulator comes down too, and again, just in general, blocks off this entire area here. Just makes it more difficult for the Reapers to move on through, to sneak around, etc. And that, of course, is generally very good, and that's why this SDV was hidden, because this factory is going to come over here. Now, puts us into an interesting spot, because Zest's pylon will give him some vision around if this factory is planning to float on in here. And so Zest has got some preparation against this, but if the factory lands right here, he's not quite going to see it. So, factory can lift up, hop to the other side, and once he does that, well then of course the pressure can start to build on up. Zest is very blind himself right now, has not scouted at all, so he has no idea what's going on. Our facility just coming up in the main base at the moment, and there is that factory. It's hopped over to the other side, and it's going to be a Cyclone to begin with. This is a little bit, it's a little bit tough. So you see the second factory building as well. Wow, he's just going to go double proxy factory Cyclone. It's kind of tough for Zest to defend against, but honestly, I like the position of his robo. It's very far back in his base, so it's not easily picked off. And with the robo, you know, coming up so quickly, the opportunity to just build an Immortal against this is obviously going to be absolutely huge. First Adept comes up the ramp and will just be sat there for a moment before pulling back. Sees no add-on on the barracks, sees no barracks building, and I kind of feel as though that might just be a big telltale sign as to, well, what on earth are you spending your gas on? Why would you not have a reactor or something down right now for your barracks? Doesn't really make sense, and so it is going to be a Chrono Boosted Immortal to get Zest rolling here, and obviously that's going to work wonders. And now he sees these two factories as well, so now he knows for sure what's going on as the first Cyclone shows up. And a few probes are going to pull in to try and help out with the Adepts. There's that first mortal, needs the second one ASAP. These Immortals are going to do so much damage against this. I mean, boom, one shot. And yes, he pops the barrier and a little bit of the shields with that Cyclone. He took a lot of damage himself right there, down 50 health already, basically. Over here we have a bunker, trying to build up at the natural as Ryung, trying to see what he can do. We'll find his pawn to the right side. Zest hits the supply block, but not before he's got the second Immortal on the way, so now he has the second Immortal too, and I'm actually a little bit wondering as to what Ryung actually does here. Building a tech lab, he might go in towards double siege tank production, which I suppose would make some sense right now, as you can see all of these Cyclones continue to gather up together. So one siege tank on the way out, Adept splitting away just a little bit, Cyclones taking some more damage, and Ryung is just like dot dot dot, and Zest is like sad face, cry cry, GG. As Ryung is going to be, not sure what he's saying, but is going to be pretty much over right here. As Zest takes game number 2, and that was a fairly quick siege.